fan of. I always just think I love this the harbour at the moment. I just think it's getting better and better all the time.
Yeah.
For you now, I'm still kind of getting my head around it. You know, when I first heard last Friday night, Aisling from the Greystones lawn tennis club sent me the link, and I thought, what the hell is this? And then by Saturday morning, it just felt like the whole world. And I don't know for you if it was the same thing that did it hit you on the Saturday morning, or I don't know when you realised this is more than just Greystones having a laugh, or Wimbledon, people in Wimbledon. This is the whole world.
Well, the first time we realised, okay, something's going to come of this, was actually in the airport, because we saw it on the TV, and literally one person said, "That's you." And then we kind of moved over to another area and forgot about it. And then when we got home, we checked it out on YouTube, and at that stage there was a couple of 100,000 hits already. Right. Within a couple of days, we were up to like 3.5 million. Then the next count was 8 million, and it's kind of topping off at 11.5. And I think we're number 2 now, but I'm not counting.
Wow.
You know.
But did that kind of, I don't know if that felt like a vertigo thing, because it's almost, I remember David Bowie said that when he first experienced fame, he said it was like sitting in a car where somebody else is driving, they suddenly go very fast, and you have this feeling that, you know, you're in the car but you're not controlling it.
Yeah.
And the idea that, especially with the internet, that this just spreads by itself, like somebody likes it and they share
like wildfire.
Right. And did that feel surreal? Did that feel a little bit vertigo?
No, it didn't. It didn't scare me, didn't faze me. It kind of shocked me that people were getting such a good buzz out of it, you know, because look, we don't take life too seriously. And you know, personally, when it happened, it was just kind of like, yeah, okay, I'll give it a crack. I didn't know that I was going to have to put on a skirt. I mean, I had people telling me, you know, sending messages, oh, that was all set up and things like that. Yeah. And you know, I'm of the impression if that was set up, they would have picked up a much better looking guy, a guy who could play tennis much better than me. You know, I mean, okay, I got the serve back, but it was ugly tennis. I'd be the first to admit it. You know,
certainly Kim's reaction suggested this was all kind of just hitting her like the joy she was feeling was the joy that sort of
got
went
a good
down.
belly laugh out of it. I think everybody did, but like.
You stepping out, and it's a sort of a dream for if you love music, if you love tennis, you love football. The idea that you'd be called up on stage or you'd be called out onto the court is kind of a fantasy that everyone has on some level if you're a fan of it. Was it like an out of body experience? Did you feel, is this happening really? Or
well, I've said it before. When I put my first foot on the court, I thought I was going to get arrested because this, you know, it doesn't happen in Wimbledon at all. I mean, you see YouTube videos around where, you know, the tennis player give the ball boy the racket and give him a go, and when it's an exhibition match and things like that, it hasn't happened in Wimbledon ever. So I'm kind of very lucky that it was me,
well, you're the man who's brought some extra balls to ladies' tennis.
Yeah. Well, technically, I'm the only man who's ever played ladies' tennis. The only man who's done it, so we'll take it.
And to be fair, you do look like you belong in court, so you know it's all natural.
Oh well, when again, don't know how I should take that, but yeah, it was such a good experience. It was just good, innocent fun.
We have to give a huge shout out to Kim too, because obviously, you know, your sense of humour is one part of it, but her, obviously, she had that great kind of sense of fun about it that would not only invite you on, but really sort of, you know, make it so beautiful.
She embraced the whole moment.
And welcoming ever since too. She's been very, very.
Let me tell you something. She is just an amazing, wonderful person, and you know, you hear all the cliche comments and things like that. I got the opportunity to speak to her a little bit closer than most people who would be outside of her normal circle, and she's just a good person, and there's nothing going to take away from that experience.
But that initial kind of, you know, pure joy of getting to go on court, and then, you know, seeing the ripple effect of that bringing joy to so many other people. But then it took on a whole new life, as the internet will you know, do now, that it'll make a moment kind of become everybody's moment. And so those step by step, the idea that you're suddenly Miriam O'Callaghan's on your case, or she wants to run the show, and then you're getting like word that, well, you know, how about going over to New York and having the skirt signed? And I mean, at any point did you sort of, you know, think, wait a minute, what's going on here? How is this possible?
Well, you know, I was just going with the flow. I mean, people saying, you know, oh, they did this, they did that, and you got offered this. Oh my God! And I'm like, well, yeah, I did, but like it's I just went with it. Now,
Yeah.
when I found out that they were bringing me over to surprise her again, I went over to my wife, who has the salon across the way.
Right, we should mention you.
Oh,
your
yeah.
good lady wife is
Good,
just right there. There we go.
Get-
Yes, the beauty spot Greystones.
Get the
Wife
plug
of the
in.
very famous CHRIS QUINN is right here in the town.
When they told me, I went down and I said, "Are you busy Friday?" And she goes, "Oh, I'm swamped." And I said, "Are you busy Saturday?" And she said, not as busy as Friday." I said, "Cancel them all. We're going to New York." And she was like, "Now I was shaking. I was absolutely shaken when I was telling her. When they told me, I was like, 'Oh, that's amazing,' and it was quite calm. But it was actually when it dawned on me what was about to happen.
And for your 3 young
I was
girls,
shaken.
I'm sure that was a most wonderful little bit of news.
As I was saying to you before,
Yeah.
we have renamed them the Kardashian Quinns because they have they're like, "Oh yeah, I'm here, I've arrived, yeah, come on." And
They're still there now. They said they'd follow you home later.
Yeah, no, they're at home.
Yeah.
If anything has come about it, my kids are bulletproof.
Right.
They have seen a much bigger world from the norm
Yes.
now, and they've seen how crazy it can get, but they've also been taken back down to ground after we've come home. So
Well, what's great is people like Kim make you realise that no matter how wealthy or famous or whatever it might be, that people can achieve a huge amount, that the human instinct is still going to be the same. That within any tier of the world, there's going to be just people who know how to have fun and are good to each other and know what a decent kind of way to live is, another so that's a great thing that you meet someone like Kim in that world.
I mean, I think every now and again the world as a whole needs a gentle reminder as to what it's all about. Not just all the bad news you hear in the media, all the doom and gloom that you see in the newspapers and on the TV. I keep getting back to the fact that this is just good, clean, innocent fun,
Right.
and people have just embraced it. I'm actually quite humbled that it's because of something that I didn't think was that big a deal,
I think if you'd known before you stepped out just the impact of those few minutes would have,
I would have still done it.
You're right, but it would have been a slightly more of a tightrope walk than it was, because as much as you're going up against a great player to see if you can turn this serve, the idea that this would be watched by so many people and that would probably put a little bit of a
It's overwhelming, and I won't say it's not. It's a buzz seeing how many people have watched this and got a little bit of joy out of it.
Now, when you shouted out body, you did mean you were talking about the actual game rather than just generally shouting out the word body.
I do play competitive tennis at an intermediate level. Like,
are you captain or you're captain?
I'm the club captain.
Greystones
club
there you go.
And,
right.
I mean,
so you know what you're doing, basically. Well, you know how this.
Well, I'm winging it, and I haven't affected up yet. So
well, all of us are winging it. That's the good thing about life.
Exactly. And so I've been immersed in tennis for the year, and even our own Class 1 team won our senior league, which is a great achievement in itself. I got a couple of text messages from some of the guys on the team. You couldn't just let us have our moment. You had to do one better. But everyone's sending such great goodwill messages. I'm very humbled.
And we were just talking before the cameras rolled. The love that this creates and the great buzz that happens around it. I mean, of course, everybody just feels this kind of glow, and you represent, I think, as will happen every now and again. You just get an experience that everyone just feels relatable, and they feel that this is a great example of the human spirit and the fun that we have in this world. And then you would have how many requests are you getting a day-ish?
Like 1,500 per day.
1,500 a day. Wow.
I mean, it's coming down to about 1,000.
But still, holy moly.
I've been contacted from people literally all over the world.
Right.
And people sending messages like, I had the most terrible day, and then I watched your video and everything was okay again.
Boom.
Thank you so much.
Isn't that great?
Great. And again, it's something small that happened that was fun and quirky and crazy. But
so if we have days now, because Greystones is going through a great, a good happy period, but I'm sure there'll be days now where everyone just feels down. You'll put on the dress for us and take a walk around the town, just as a
certainly
kind of
not that one, but hey, you never know what can happen. If
we'll all go down to Vincent's, we'll find your dress that you like. And so we should mention now, very important is this Friday coming is the you very, very kindly donated the famous skirt to the Gavin Lynn Foundation. The auction is coming up on Friday. I mean, that itself took on a whole kind of another layer of amazing, because it's a beautiful thing to donate it, but then when you're getting things like Kim signing it, and it becomes, you know, not just a Greystones or even Irish kind of story. That's been pretty remarkable too.
It's a weird and crazy piece of Wimbledon history. Nobody's going to be able to take that away from anybody involved in the day. And you know, there's one other person that definitely should be mentioned outside, even outside of Kim. One of the other ladies on the court, her name is Renee Stubbs. She's also up in that caliber of tennis player.
Great.
I mean, she has been sharing out all my Twitter feeds religiously about when we announced that we were donating it to Gavin Glenn, and she was the one who let Kim know that it was being donated, and she sent it. I think I put it up on my face. I took a screen capture and put it up, and I was like, oh my god, I can't believe this. I mean, that was actually a bigger shock, that, you know, someone of that stature was actually
engaged,
paying attention to what was happening in little old Greystones, and genuinely interested. And she literally said, this story just gets better and better. And then I was contacted by people who look after Kim and said, we want to get you over and give her a surprise, and the surprise is priceless. Some of it went out on camera, but I have the actual when it happened on my phone, and that'll be released. That'll be going out on my own Facebook page in a couple of days, and it actually shows what type of person Kim is as well, because she's just so wholesome, down to earth, and good natured. She was as shocked as I was. Put it that way.
And she's got a great happy face about her. You kind of know, some people have you know their face is generally in that mode, like when she smiles, that's, you know, she just seems like the type of person, she smiles a lot, I'd say. She's got that good nature.
And her family are fantastic. We were lucky enough to spend some time off camera and on camera with Kim and her family, and you know, my wife's getting selfies with her husband, the kids were playing together, and you know, we got a good time, and it was all relaxed. It was like the way we're speaking. Nice. There was no pomp or
tell Kim now, we don't
it.
have a hotel, but we can all put a tent up somewhere for her if she wants to come over and visit.
You know, you've a couple of rooms down above the Burnaby, maybe. You know,
we'll find a B&B, but I think even a tent down here in the harbour.
Well, we've invited her to become an honorary member of Greystones Tennis Club.
There you go.
And she has that. And there's still a lot of talk out there about a rematch. You know. Anyone who knows how I play tennis, I've a pretty good forehand and a pretty good serve. My backhand is still a work in progress, so give me a couple of months.
And she'd warmed up. You hadn't had time to warm up too. That's important. If you have a bit of time to warm up, who knows what.
Oh, it's different. Yeah, I mean, that's. I'm going to stick to that story too. Yeah.
And you'll have to bring a pair of shorts for her and stuff, just to.
I don't think it'll have the same impact if she's wearing shorts as me in a skirt, but you know, we'll see.
Well, we wish you what a wonderful, amazing week, and it's like a you know, any kind of happy moment just lasts forever, really, because you know, this whole year, this will be seen the year that this happened, and it'll kind of come around anniversaries, and people are always going to feel these are little moments in life that remind you, A, anything can happen, and B, there's just so much good in people when you give them a little, you know.
Absolutely, give them a little boost. And if anything could be taken out of that, it's the fact a lot of people got to laugh from it, and you know, life's too short to worry about little things.
And believe me, we'll continue to laugh at you over the years and over the years.
Oh, I'm quite sure you will.